Welcome back to my channel. FPL is back. We have only 1 week to go. And honestly, I think this is going to be a very different FPL season. We have so many new managers this year. 9, 10, maybe even 11 teams have changed their managers. And some of them are bringing completely new system. Some of these systems we haven't even seen before in the Premier League. And for me, that one of the biggest challenges this season. We know the player, we know their prices, we know the fixtures, but what we don't really know is how these teams are actually going to play. And that can completely change the FPL value of a player. A fullback in one system can be an amazing FPL asset, put them in another system, and suddenly he's not getting forward anymore. A midfielder can play in exactly the same position on the team sheet, but actual role can be completely different. So this season, I'm paying much more attention to the manager and their systems. And then we have another big change. For the second time, we have two sets of chips, and even bench boost has become a little more complicated. We don't have that easy 4 million Dubravka anymore that we can just put on the bench and forget about. So if I want to bench boost early, I probably have to spend 4.5 million on my second goalkeeper, and that's 0.5 million which is basically sitting on my bench. So I'm actually not planning to bench boost very early this season. When I wildcard, I can sort the bench boost out. I'm probably looking at my first wildcard somewhere around game week 6, game week 10, probably the international break. So I don't need this team to be perfect for 38 game weeks. I need to be good for the first phase of the season. And there is one more thing I want to talk about. I think the biggest problem for the FPL manager this season isn't the lack of information. It's actually the opposite. We have too much information. There are creators talking about every single player. You can find statistics for everything: expected goal, expected assist, fixture difficulty, predicted lineups, player comparison, and then 10 different people will give you 10 different opinions. And I think one of the biggest skill this season is going to be learning what to ignore. You don't need to know everything. You just need to identify the information that actually matters to your decision. And I'm going to do the same thing with my team. I'm going to look at the fixtures, I'm going to look at the new manager, I'm going to look how they want to play, and then I'm going to ask who benefits from that. There is one more small strategy that I want to use this season, which I usually use in every season. I'm going to try to use 99.5 out of my 100 million budget and keep 0.5 million in the bank. I know some people will say, why would you leave money unused? But I actually think that's 0.5 million can be very useful after game week 1, because every season there is somebody who comes out of nowhere. A player scores 2 goals, maybe get an assist, maybe gets 3 bonus points, and suddenly after 1 game week everyone is saying, I need this guy in my team. But by then the price might have already gone up and you actually be short of 0.1 million or 0.2 million, and then you are stuck. You have to make another transfer just to get the player you actually want. But if I have already kept 0.5 million in the bank, I have that flexibility. If someone suddenly becomes the obvious player after game week 1, I can just go and buy him. So I'm not saying you should always leave 0.5 million unused, but in the beginning of the season with so much uncertainty, I like to have that flexibility because we don't know yet who the breakout player is going to be. I would rather have the option to react than spend every last penny on game week 1. That's another part of my strategy. Let's start with the team currently I have. For goalkeeper, I am actually quite settled. I like to sit and forget about my goalkeeper till my first wildcard. I'm not interested in rotating 2 or 3 goalkeepers every week. I want someone who can give me clean sheets, and if the clean sheet doesn't happen, hopefully he can give me some save point. For me, the best value at 4.5 million is Kinsky from Tottenham. I really like the Spurs fixture at the beginning of the season, and obviously the new manager make Tottenham very interesting. The system is going to be aggressive. They are going to try to play forward. They're going to try to play through pressure and attack the spaces that opens up. Now, I'm not expecting Tottenham to suddenly have the best defense in the league. That's not why I'm buying Kinsky. I'm buying him because he's 4.5 million. The fixtures are good, and I think there is enough potential for clean sheets and saves. And then my second goalkeeper is going to be someone at 4 million. And honestly, I'm not spending too much time on that decision because I'm not planning to bench boost early in the season, so I'm happy to have 4 million goalkeeper sitting there. When I wildcard, I'll reassess my whole options. So for now, Kinsky is my goalkeeper. and I have a 4 million backup. That's it. Let's move on to the defense. Defense is where things are still very much a work in progress for me. I know I need 3 playing defenders and then I'll have 2 4 million defenders. The idea is simple. I'm not going to spend money on my bench. If they are not going to start regularly, I want them cheap. So that leaves me 3 defenders that I actually want to start every week. And there is one big thing I know for sure, that I need an Arsenal defender. Everybody has Arsenal defense because they are the best defense last season. And normally I don't like to making decisions simply because everybody else is doing it. But this is where ownership matters. You don't win FPL in game week 1, but you can drop a lot in game week 1. If Arsenal keep a clean sheet and I have no Arsenal defense, while everyone around me has 1 or 2, some has 3, that's a pretty big immediate disadvantage. So I want one. The problem is that Arsenal defense is a little bit complicated at the moment. Saliba is injured, Timber is injured, and there is a lot of speculation about who Arsenal might bring in. We have White, we have Calafiori, we have Mosquera, and there are also links with other defenders. So I'm not going to pretend I know what Arsenal's final defense is going to look like. I'll wait. But at the moment, I'm leaning forward Mosquera. If Arsenal bring another defender in, I'll obviously reconsider. But the important thing is, for me, I want one Arsenal defender. Then we have my Chelsea defender, and this player is I really like, Palestra. I really like this signing, and maybe this is partially because I have a bit of a soft spot for this kind of fullbacks. I really like Alonso in the Chelsea. He was one of those defenders who just keep giving me FPL points. Clean sheet, bonus, assist, goal. You never know where the points were coming from. And when I look Palestra, I see some of that potential. Obviously, I'm not saying he's going to become an Alonso, but I like the player. I like the attacking potential. And if Chelsea system gives him freedom to get forward, then at his price, I think is interesting. I'm happy to take the risk. And then my third defender is actually the position I'm still struggling with. I'm still looking. At the moment, I have Konsa. I like the player. I like the defensive potential. He was great at the World Cup. Aston Villa has some good fixtures, but there is another complication. Arsenal is interesting in Konsa. And if Arsenal actually move for Konsa, then obviously everything changed. Suddenly everybody will have Konsa in their teams. So this position is still open. I'm also looking at Manchester City as well. I'm also looking at Manchester United with first 2 very plumb fixtures. But I know United will concede in both of them matches, so I'm not going near the United defense. And for the Manchester City defense, the problem is money. My budget is already quite tight and City defenders are not particularly cheap. So I'm trying to see where I can make the money work. Maybe I can find a way, maybe I can't. This is the problem, the position I'm most likely to change before the deadline. So right now my defense is Mosquera, Palestra and Konsa, but don't surprise if one of the names will change at the final. Let's move on to midfield. I have got 3 players who are fixed, and those are Cole Palmer, Semenyo and Mbeumo. Let's start with the Palmer. I think Palmer is one of those players where I don't want to overthink for the Chelsea. He is involved so much in Chelsea's attacking play. He has creativity, he has goal threats, he has penalties. And with the new Chelsea system, I'm interested to see how the players around him create space for him. If Chelsea can get their attacking structure right, Palmer is going to be right in the middle of it. So Palmer stays. And then comes to Semenyo. I had Semenyo basically the whole of the last season. I really like him. I had him when he was in Bournemouth. I had him when he comes to City. And again, the new managers makes him even more interesting. We know the type of football the Enzo Maresca likes. It's intense. It's quite aggressive. There's lots of running and pressing. And when they win the ball, they want to go forward quickly. And the Semenyo is kind of player I think the benefit from the most. We saw that in the preseason. He has so many assists so far. He's direct, he carries the ball and he attacks the space. He does not need to dominate possession to get FPL points. So I'm keeping him. I had him before, I like him. I'm happy to back him again. And then we have Manchester United. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't particularly like the United or Bruno Fernandes. Maybe that's partially biased because I'm a City fan, but I just don't want to spend that much money on Bruno Fernandes. However, I do like the first 2 United fixtures. They are very, very good, and I like the attacking potential in Mbeumo. And I have actually been watching him in the starting lineup in the preseason, and I really like what I'm seeing. If he's playing in that advanced role, getting into the box and getting enough attacking involvement, then I think he's a very interesting option. And the first couple of game weeks, those fixtures are simply too good for me to ignore. So I'll have him, and then we will see if I need to move from United attack. If United don't look good in the first two fixtures, he's someone I can move on from. Again, I'm not building for 38 game weeks, I'm just looking for the first period. And that means I have 2 midfield places still open. And honestly, I don't know yet. I have shortlisted few players, I'm looking at the different options, but I'm not going to put someone into the team just because I have empty space and everybody is telling me that he's going to be amazing. Like Pascal Gross in Brighton. Everybody is so hype up on him. I'll rather wait. I rather analyze further. This is exactly where I think you have to ignore some information. You don't have to make your final decision before the deadline. Things change. Preseason changes things. Team news changes things. Transfer change things. And maybe one player suddenly become an obvious pick. So I'm going to leave these 2 midfield spots open for now, and I'll reconsider this later. Now the forward line is much more easier for me because Haaland and Isak are fixed. I'm very happy with these two. Haaland is obviously the premium pick and he's going to be my captain. So that's my City develop, and I'm actually quite happy with them, Semenyo and Haaland. Because City is one of those teams I'm still trying to understand what is the new version is going to like. There is lots of changes, there is lots of tactical ideas, and I don't want to guess too much, but one thing I'm quite confident about is Haaland. Whatever City become, I expect Haaland to be the involved in their goals. And then the Isak. I am really interested in Isak this season because of the Liverpool system. The Irola likes to play quickly. He likes to win the ball and attack before the opposition can organize. And Isak is exactly the kind of striker who can benefit from that. We have seen Krupi Jr. Imagine Isak in that place. You have got players between the lines. You have got the wide players creating the space. You have got the fullbacks moving forward. And then you have Isak attacking the space. So I really like the combination. Again, I'm not saying it's definitely going to work. It's a new system. It might take some time, but it will work. And if it is work, I think Isak could be a very good FPL asset this season. So Haaland and Isak are fixed. That leaves me with the one forward spot. And this is the position where I'm still analyzing. There are quite a few 6 million-ish forward I'm looking at. I haven't made my final decision yet. I like Calvert-Lewin. Leeds are looking fantastic. I like Richarlison. I like Igor Jesus. I like Igor actually more about the manager. Glasner is a coach I really like. We saw what he did in Crystal Palace, and under him Mateta become a really interesting FPL option. So I'm wondering if Igor can become that kind of player for Nottingham Forest. Not necessarily the same player, but somebody who can benefit from the manager's system. Then there is Osula from Newcastle. I like Barry from Everton. He played a wonderful game a few days back against the Newcastle. So there is quite a few options, but I'm not really decided yet, and that's okay. I don't need to be confirmed at this moment. I'm going to wait for more information, more preseason friendlies, more team news, more transfers, and then I'll make my decision. So at the moment, this is where my team stands. In goal, Kinsky with 4 million backup. In defense, I have Masquera, Palestra and Konsa, Thomas and Davis, 2 4 million defenders on the bench right now. In midfield, I have Palmer, Semenyo and Mbeumo who are fixed. I have got 2 spaces still open. I'm still looking. And up front, we have Haaland and Isak who are fixed with 1 forward spot still open. And remember, I'm also trying to keep 0.5 million in the bank, so I don't necessarily want to spend every last million before game week 1. I want flexibility. So that's basically how I am approaching this season. I'm not trying to predict everything. I'm trying to understand the big changes, new managers, new system, new role, and then I'm asking which players can benefit. For Liverpool, I'm looking at the aggressive vertical style and what that could mean for players like Isak, Gakpo. For Spurs, I'm looking at the new system and trying to get value from it. And if they sign Cody Gakpo, I certainly have him in my team because Gakpo is the player who will benefit most in the De Zerbi style of play. And for Chelsea, I'm interested to see how much a new structure can benefit Palmer and attacking fullback. And that's FPL. Don't try to know everything. There is going to be so much information. Take what is useful, ignore what is not. Keep some money in the bank, give yourself flexibility to react, and at the end of the day, this is 38 game weeks marathon. You don't need to have the perfect game week 1 team. You just need to make the best decision with the information we have and see what's happened. and at the end you have to enjoy the game. I'll keep updating this team as we get closer to the deadline. Good luck with your teams, good luck with your captain, and I'll see you in the next video.